Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical, this is Mystical Gaming. Grab yourself a cuppa, we're jumping back into Watcher Realms now. We are in the Void Rift Epilogue, Phase 1 still, they haven't released Phase 2 yet, I presume they're going to at some point, but this is the next fight on the list, and probably not my most favourite. I didn't really like it at all. There seemed to be quite a bit of RNG attached to it, so there's a few things you can do to make your life a little easier, but it could always be bit of a nightmare fight for you, and you might just have to rerun it and be one of those things really. So let's just have a quick look at what we've got here. So the older popular heroes. So we've got Brognir, we've got Eloin, few tanks, few fighters, usual stuff. Now for my team, I've gone in with Northern Lord. If you've got King, then you can put him in there. I've used a new hero as well. I thought I'd give her a go. She seems to be quite well in this. She dies towards the end of my run, but I think there's things you could do to improve that quite happily. Brognir, he's absolutely fantastic. Ideally, what you want when you're setting up is the unyielding state is what you're after. That's going to make your life a lot easier. So Brognir's sort of got it. He does the ice block thing, so that works out well for him. And then we've got a few other tanks. So Torador dies and then comes back, so he's got that going for him. We've got Baron, who does a full-on massive shield and then does the unyielding as well. Absolutely fantastic. Fighters, got Volker there. She's there to help with the respawn timing, so that's why she's there. Eloin, going to be tricky if you haven't got Eloin as a healer. I think you're going to need a lot more tankier stats than I'm rolling with. And then the other fighters, we've got Arrogance, absolutely brilliant. We've got Sun Wukong, yeah, enough said with regards to him. And then we've got Esprit, she's absolutely awesome. Got to give a shout out. So I got this tip the other day come through, so took them at their word and I've chucked Estrid in. Yeah, absolutely, yeah, can't fault the comment. Actually, it's absolutely brilliant. So there we go. Let's jump into the run and have a look how this pans out for us. So when we first get in there, it's mostly sort of a tank orientated thing. We'll have a quick look at the map when it first drops. So right, here's the map, and it's 1, 2, we've got 3 in the middle, and we've got sort of 2 either side. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lanes to cover, and you can't cover them all. That's the issue. So you have to move sort of people around. I think I get the sort of concept they were after, but I think it's just badly done because it's random over where they're going to appear. So one run might be a nightmare for you, another run may mean that you don't have to move as many people that often. But talking of moving people, let's get me out of the way and sort of probably that's going to work a little bit better. So the boss is going to arrive here, and then that spot over there, he brings out sort of 2, and they do the middle lane and the one above it really to sort of start with. And then later on you get all 3 come down this lane, but out of the 2 that arrive on the top 2 and the bottom 2 lanes, that seems to be a bit more RNG orientated, which causes a bit of an issue throughout the fight. First thing we do in the fight is we put down Estrid. We want Estrid down first because she's got time to build up her ultimate. Realistically, that's it. I want her ultimate firing off as quickly as possible. And then I got Brognir down just beside Estrid. Remember, the tanks aren't side by side. There's a step behind them as well. Okay, and that's more to do with Estrid's ultimate. And then we place our healer down behind them to cover off all the healing. Now, ultimate wise, Malvira goes off first. Her ultimate's triggered off first. Then Estrid, is because Estrid's in Soulbound Arcana. So the other ultimate is just to start triggering some stacks off on that. So we're up to 2 stacks. And there we go. There's Estrid firing off as soon as possible. And she's covering that off for us. Now, the first part of the fight is nice and easy. These sort of first 4 enemies go down quite well, and then there's a little bit of a break. Depending on how quickly you do it. Just just to try and sort of ease you into, I suppose. Then the boss does his ability, and then we see there's a Cyclone. Cyclone has arrived up there on the top. That's not the top lane, it's the one down from the top lane. Okay, so just bear in mind with that. And then we start with our heroes down afterwards. We need a tank to go up there, and then we need a fighter to go over the top of the tank. So bear in mind, you're going to get your tank down, and then you're going to want your fighter reaching over the top of it. Okay, so that's the sort of premise of the fight all over. And then we've got the usual suspects coming down, those two again in the centre come down, so that's all right. Now what we're waiting for in the centre is waiting for Estrid's ultimate to come up. This is what I mean. So I would in future, if I had to redo it, I'd build a bit more rage regen into Estrid and try and get that coming around a bit more timely for her. It's not fantastic, so it is what it is. It's not great. So the boss has done his ability again, and now we can see there's another Cyclone. You see every time the boss does his ability, a Cyclone appears. So he's got one at the top now, on the very top lane, so that's a bit, and that's good news for us, because that's very much in the sort of same lane as before, or at least in the same sort of band as range. If it comes on the bottom one, then you've got to sort of remove everyone come down. We've now got two arriving on the centre and the centre right, so they would come down, but we can just put our Baron down there, and that's still covered off by Estrid, which is fantastic. So we can cover Torador once Torador's mob is dead, and we can just put up someone beside Arrogance. Now they've gone beside because of Arrogance's range. Try and remember the range of your fighters. They're going to come down that top lane, they get blocked by a tank up there, but Arrogance will still be able to hit them. So that's sort of what we're aiming for there, because we can only put down another 3, and if they arrive somewhere else, we're going to need our tanks to recover back round so we can put them back down again. And that's sort of realistically what the fight is about. It's just more annoying than it is anything else on how much of a balance you want from your tanks and your fighters. Hitting off the ultimates, there's Estrid's ultimate, should cover off the 4 in the middle, and then the boss has done his ability again, and now we can see the next one's down on the bottom run, so we've got to move everyone back down. And this is sort of why I brought an additional fighter with me, so as in Sun Wukong. So they've got their timer running, and we've got another 7 seconds before our tank's due again. We can recall the 2 at the top in case we need them again, and then it's just a matter of cycling everything back round. So Sun Wukong goes down, we can start building up his ultimate. Torador goes down just to sort of cover off everything there, and then if we have a look in the center, we've got these mobs arriving from everywhere, so they're coming down all 3 lanes of the center. But it's not a problem for Estrid. Our only problem with Estrid is she's only on 39% at the moment. We need to sort of get that up again, back with the rage regen. It's not ideal, so hindsight I would probably stick more rage regen on her, or a bit more speed, so she could get that back round a little bit faster as she's attacking. But the rest of them can just sort of pretty much tank this up, most of them. I have one issue with my main tank, Minerva up there. I think it's about now that she dies, or dies shortly on this run. It's a little bit awkward, but it's nothing that can't be overcome, to be honest. We'll have a look at her skills afterwards, and her kit and her makeup, and it comes a bit more obvious, but that's sort of pretty much it for the final phase, really. That's it. It's all done there without too many issues. We've got 2 more arriving down there, and that would be it. But we've got tanks coming up, and we've got plenty of fighters, so it's not a great issue for us. But it's just annoying that it's sort of RNG based as opposed to anything really technically based. I suppose that's about it. It's not my favourite fight within the game, I'd have to say. I think one of my least favourites because of that reason more than anything else. But it is what it is. It's not overly tricky, but would you do it for the rewards? Maybe you wouldn't. There we go. That's it all done and dusted. It's not too hard. I done it with, I don't know, 760, 790, something like that, I suppose. So I was quite a way short. What I do it on? Yeah, there we go. So quick run through the skills and the heroes. There she is. There's her set. HP going all the way through. Usual stuff. and there's the artifact on, and not really used, mostly used for the Lord skills. So yeah, it is what it is. Now here's the issue here. So gear wise on, she's in Glacier set. I don't know, I presume I was looking at maybe something else to get some attack on her or something. I don't know, I haven't got a clue what I was doing with that. Maybe I clicked quick equip or something like that. And then as we have a look at the skills, we then notice one issue, that we haven't put any skills into her as well, so that would probably help her out. Artifact wise, definitely I think the Cadaver Dagger is probably the way to go with her, boosting that HP up, so maybe that's something to do with that. Broken yeah, he is what he is. If you've got him and you're using him, you've probably got a fairly solid build. I've got T3 tanking stuff on him and just roll with that. Other tank, Torador, again, he's got some T3 gear on him, tempered will, damage reduction, and then he's got the Bastion Ring artifact on, normal stuff. Volker, yeah, whatever gear you've got on her, chuck her in. She's more there for that that respawn time to get down for you. That's about it. And then we've got Baron on there, and he's in the Guardians set, and he's there for the unyielding and that big shield that he puts on himself just to buy time for your Estrid to come back round to nuke everything. So Sun Wukong, I use him all over the place. If you've got him in relatively good gear, or at least some of your best gear. Don't need to look at the same. Pretty much goes for Arrogance. You'll have him in some pretty good gear, I should imagine. He's got his own artifact on. The same with Sun Wukong. And there's Estrid. Now I have stuck her in some of my best Soulbound Arcana stuff. There we go. It's not. And I'm sure there are people out there with better stuff, but I've gone attack down the right hand side and then gone for Wicked Vengeance on the left hand side to try and get some crit damage out of her. Now, I made a mistake with this, yeah, so don't copy this. It can be done with the wrong artifact on, but if you're going to use the one that does AoE damage, okay, you'll probably find you'll have more joy with that. But there you go. We can all make mistakes, can't we? That's as well as it goes. There are a few exceptions to what you can do and what you can use about the place. Now, recommended lineups, other people have done it using Chaos. Captain Reeves, I think, is probably a fairly good bet. Yeah, as a tank, that's going to put all the stun up there, so might buy yourself some more time as well. That's quite a nice little setup. This is quite nice here. Who's done this one? They've done it with less than 720, which I think is quite a good shout out. Done it with Gluttony as well. That's probably a good shout with a bit of self healing, some big hits. Baron's in there again. Garm. Some of the usual suspects. Eloin again in there. They've probably used Arrogance where I used Estrid. I think she was just great. Sun Wukong's in there. Estrid's again in another team. Again, you've seen a lot of the usual suspects. So unyielding is the way to go, or this undying sort of state with some of your tanks is a good way to go. I thought that was quite an interesting shout to use the unnamed fighter in there. I think that's quite a good call. So yeah, I've just pulled mine. I haven't fully built them up yet, but that's a really nice shout. That's got the range to go in instead of Estrid as well, so very possibly usable there as well. Haven't tested that myself, but it seems quite a good shout. That what have we got here? Usual suspects again. We've got an Estrid in there. Here, this one's quite nice though. Healer wise, they haven't gone for an Eloin, so you've got to be quite confident and not having to place an elf on the top or the bottom. Runs for you. I didn't, but it's nice to have that option, sort of removing that option from you, but it does give you the rage regen, which is probably quite nice as well. Now, just want to show this as well. It's a possibility that you might want to play around with. So I've gone with a Valk, or you could use an Ares and a Vlad, that sort of stuff. So usual setup for the middle, we've got that running as per. And then I thought I'd try something a little bit different. Now, I didn't do my run like this, but it might be something you might want to consider when you do yours, depending on the sort of heroes you've got. I think it's going to be a little bit riskier, but definitely I think it's got some merit behind the ability to do it. Also, very shortly, Falcia will be able to be used, won't she? She's got that reach as well, so bear her in mind as well. She hasn't got any AoE stuff, but certainly top or bottom she could be quite usable as well. So there's the thing coming at the top. Now, if you put a Valk down, she can actually reach that top rung. Now I didn't get enough damage off to actually kill them outright, so that's a bit of a blow. Maybe if I put her down earlier, she'd build up more damage. That would be a possibility, and I sort of just let them run through really, where you'd have to recall her to get the coins back, so you'd save yourself a bit there. But it's relatively close, so I think if you played around with it, possibly doable to actually get her to kill those off beforehand. But you'd have to recall her and then put one of the chaos behind who have that ability to not die straight away and keep going afterwards. So there we go, we can wipe those out, and then you just do a recall and you could get your coins back, that sort of thing. So possibility there. Just another little idea you may want to play around with if you're trialing this out for yourselves. Okay, so go, that's me done. Boss is the next one. We'll see how we do with that and see how that goes down. I'm not too sure how much we're going to need BP wise for that, but I'm sure we'll be well short of it. There you are, that's me done. Wish you luck if you're still pushing on this stage as well. Thank you very much for your time. If you leave me a thumbs up, like and subscribe when you're out the door, that'd be much appreciated, and I'll see you all in a video again soon. Thank you very much for your time. Cheers, goodbye.